Hi, my name is Kim, and I'm 39, and I've been a yoga teacher for 10 years. I also have a corporate yoga and meditation company. I'm usually very, very active and feel healthy, and I was naive in thinking that I would never get COVID. In early June, I came down with what initially felt like a mild cold. And over the next couple days, I got really, really sick. I got tested for COVID and got a positive result. Over the period of having COVID, which has been nearly 8 weeks, I have experienced a myriad of symptoms that have at some points been quite debilitating. Actually, last week I was teaching a yoga class for a client and felt so weak I had to resort to teaching from a chair. In addition to feeling weak, some of the other symptoms I've experienced include headaches, brain fog, chest tightness, muscle soreness, overall extreme fatigue, and a persistent cough. All of these symptoms and having COVID for what has felt like a very long time has not only physically been challenging, but also hard on the mind and hard on my heart. I'm again used to being very active and typically practice a vigorous style of yoga, but lately I have barely been able to do any of the most simple yoga poses there are. I want to offer up a yoga practice today demonstrated by my good friend Masami that is designed for people with COVID who may be experiencing the symptoms that I've had and maybe even more symptoms. This class is perfect if you also feel like you can barely do much. I hope that this class will help ease any suffering that you may have, whether it's physical or mental or emotional. And this class will also include some modifications to make sure that you stay comfortable all the way through. If you don't have COVID, please wear your mask. Please social distance. And if you have COVID as well, know that my heart is with you and that we're in this together and that we'll get through this and enjoy this class. So, Masami, let's start in a supported chest opener because one thing that I've experienced through my illness is chest tightening and soreness. So, what you're going to do, like Masami already has, is roll up a yoga mat. And also make sure to have something that you can use as a yoga belt, whether that's a leather belt or a towel. But again, the first pose, make sure that you have your mat rolled up. And I'd like you to have the mat behind your back in line with your spine. So you're going to sit in front of the mat and with your butt on the floor, take your hands behind you and make sure that the edge of the mat closest to your butt goes to the middle back. So above the low back, perfect. And then you're going to rest the back onto the mat, so your middle back, your upper back, and let the head rest over the top of the mat. Once your body gets down on the mat, let's bend the elbows out to a 90-degree angle so the elbows are in line with your shoulders, and rest the upper arms with the hands facing up on the floor. You can stretch your legs out or you can have the legs bent like Masami. If you're getting any discomfort from your cough or feeling uncomfortable in the chest, know that you can elevate your head a little bit higher with a towel. But I'd like you to just take a few deep breaths here, elongating your inhale elongating your exhales. Having a novel illness like COVID can be intense and scary. And one thing that can help to minimize the sense of fear and worry is to focus on your breathing. So take an inhale here and breathe into a sense of calm. And as you exhale, breathe out any stress or worry. Inhale, calm. Exhale, tension. And as you repeat with this calming, soothing breath, invite a sense of release across the chest. A release of the shoulders. Inhaling calm. Exhaling stress. And staying with this calming, soothing breath, blink your eyes open. And one leg at a time, bend your legs. And you're slightly elevated, but roll off to the right. And let your head be last, but press your left hand into the floor and slowly sit up. And from here, let's unroll the mat. And you're going to come all the way down onto your back, lie on your back, and that belt that you may have or tool, please grab that. And once you get down onto your mat, extend your left leg long and heavily on the mat in front of you. And bend your right knee in towards your chest. And wrap the tool around the middle of your right foot, holding the tool with each hand. Extend your right leg slowly up toward the ceiling. With COVID, the joints and muscles can feel insanely sore. So some light stretching can feel nice and relieving. But recently, when I was doing the same pose, I couldn't even hold my arms in this position. It was difficult. If you're experiencing that now, feel free to walk your hands down the belt and bring your elbows to the floor so that your arms feel some support here. Inhaling calm. Exhaling stress. And release your right leg and extend your right leg forward, long and heavily on the mat, and we'll take the other side. So bend your left knee in, belt up the middle of your left foot, and extend your left leg up. Again, if your arms feel weak or tired here, feel free to bend the elbows and bring the elbows to the floor. One practice I've felt has been helpful through my illness has been to really go with the body. Like when the body is tired, let it rest. to rather than resist what may be happening, to go into a place of allowing, resting is okay. And release the belt and bend both legs and wrap your arms around your shins and just give yourself a squeeze here. The back and hips can feel tight when you're sick with COVID, especially if you're spending a lot of time in bed horizontal, or body just feeling very cramped. So this simple act of just grabbing the bent legs here can stretch the back, the hips. Now open your arms out wide to a T, and let's make sure the hands are facing up like Masami, and bring the knees in toward your body, and bring the knees a little bit closer to the chest, Masami. Good. So now look to the left or look up, whatever is better for your neck, and let the legs twist down toward the right elbow. So this is a spinal twist on your back. Again, look up or to the left, and legs twist down toward the right. Take your right hand to the top mid-thigh and just gently press a little down and toward the right side. This pose on your back can be beneficial for helping to create a widening in the chest, a lengthening in the spine, and some rotation when we may be quite stagnant with the body. Take another breath here. And bring your legs back to center and look up or over to the right, whatever is more comfortable for your neck, and twist your legs down toward the left side of the room. And take your left hand to the top mid-thigh, gently sweep down and toward the left. Continuing with that calming, soothing breath. And slowly bring your legs back to center. And wrap your arms around the legs. So you're going to have two options depending on your energy level of how you want to come up to a seat. Option one is to gently rock back and forth enough time so you come all the way up to your seat. Or you can roll to the right and then slowly come up to a seat. But once you come up to a seat, thank you for demoing both ways. Once you come up to a seat, come onto all fours. And from all fours, let's come into a supported child's pose. So bring your big toes to touch. Separate the knees a little bit wider than the upper ribs. And sit the hips back. Walk the spine and arms forward. And if you have the ability You rest the forehead with your arms straight or elbows bent. That's great. If your forehead is hovering off the floor, it can be very relaxing to rest the forehead onto a towel or onto the forearms like Masami has. COVID can cause extreme fatigue. And child's pose is a great pose for creating a sense of rest. Let the floor feel like a form of support, almost like you're being held. Child pose is also a popular pose for relieving stress because the shape of the pose can help to give the nervous system the signal to calm. Take another breath here. And come onto all fours. We're going to take several cat-cows, which can be great for creating some mobility in the spine. So from all fours, inhale, lengthen your spine and bring your spine into a back bend. So you'll lift the sit bones, open up the chest, look forward like Masami. And then take your time and exhale round, kind of like a Halloween cat. Tuck your tail, scoop the belly, dome your upper back. Inhale, lengthen and arcing the spine, dropping the belly, opening up the chest. And exhale, round. Let's take one more. Inhale, lengthen and back bend the spine. And exhale, round. And inhale, come to neutral. And from here, let's come into a seated position. So whether that's a cross-legged position or you kneeling, whatever is most comfortable for you. Once you sit, try to sit up nice and tall while relaxed. And walk your left hand out to the left on the floor. And grab the left side of your head with your right hand. And as you take an inhale here, exhale, fold the head so the right ear goes toward the right shoulder. A neck stretch can also help to soothe whatever you may be feeling with COVID, because neck stretches can feel good and bittersweet, but they can also be helpful when you're experiencing headaches. Take 2 more breaths here, folding the head to the right. And bring your head back to vertical. And just notice how one side of the neck may feel a little bit different compared to the other side. And walk your right hand out to the right. And grab the right side of the head with your left hand. Take an inhale. And fold the head to the left. By the way, if sitting up may be too exhausting for the body, know that you can sit back against the wall so that you have a form of support as you do the next stretch. Take 2 more breaths. And bring your head back to vertical. And notice how both sides of the neck feel. So at this point, I'd like you to come into a comfortable position where we can practice meditation for a few minutes. So a couple options include sitting on the floor, or you can elevate your seat to create more erect posture. If you're feeling really tired, like I have a lot, I like to meditate horizontally, honestly, in bed. So know that you can take an option that feels really good for you. But once you come into your meditation position, I invite you to close your eyes. Let your mouth be a little bit open. And let's take one hand to the stomach and the other hand to the top of the chest. And just feel a couple rounds of breath through the top of the head. And just notice how the torso lifts when you inhale. The torso falls when you exhale. Fortunately, if you are doing this practice with us today and you are experiencing the symptoms of COVID, fortunately, just like your breath goes in and out, COVID is also temporary. So each day you may experience different symptoms, but rest assured that the whole illness at some point will pass. That you will be okay. Your body will be okay. And that you will feel better. Take a deep inhale together. And exhale. And one leg at a time, bring your knees in. And wrap your arms around the legs. And roll to the right. And head last, come on up into a seated position. Please take your time. Once you sit, bring the palms to the chest. Again, if it feels like too much to sit erect by yourself, feel free to sit back against the wall. I hope that this practice has helped you to feel any degree better, and my thoughts are with you. And in good health, namaste.